everyone. This card really looks like it has some great betting opportunities, so I wanted to go through it and just go one by one through the fights and see which fights I think have good potential to bet. So just going down the list, the first fight I see is Aaron Blanchfield against JJ Aldrich. I think that it's insane that Aaron Blanchfield is a minus 475 favorite. I mean, if you look, a lot of these female fights are very close, especially the ones when there's a big odds difference. It almost seems like, the bigger the odd difference, the closer the fight is in women's MMA. I mean, I know, I'm over exaggerating, but seriously, minus 475. Aaron Blanchfield is a beast. There's no question. She's a very exciting prospect, especially beating Miranda Maverick, because I think is a very solid fighter. But JJ Aldrich, she's been fighting in the UFC for quite some time, and I know she took a little bit of time to figure out her game. But I would call her a veteran. She's fought 3, 6, 9, 10 times in the UFC. Wow. Aaron Blanchfield she hasn't even had 10 fights, and I know she's very good. She's a very nice grappler, but again, to just look past JJ Aldrich like that, like, I understand if, Aaron Blanchfield was a minus 200 favorite, even that would be, think too much. So I definitely think there's a potential in JJ Aldrich, especially, you can grab JJ Aldrich by decision at plus 650. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, honestly, might not be bad to put something on her by decision and put something on her just money line, just in case. I doubt she's going to knock Aaron Blanchfield out, or, even less likely to submit her. But, why not, just in case something crazy happens? This is MMA. Why not just throw half on JJ Aldrich by decision at plus 650 and then some just money line at plus 350. I think it's absolutely worth it. The next fight, Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Michalidis. Andreas is a really good fighter. I know last time he got knocked out by Alex Pereira, but Alex Pereira is an absolute monster. The guy, if he gets through Sean Strickland, he's gonna be fighting for the title. I don't know much about Rinat Fakhretdinov. But it looks like that he's a pretty damn good fighter. I mean, he has that look, and he looks like in excellent shape, but I'm not really going to comment much on that because I don't really know much about him. Jeff Molina against Zalgas. I like this fight. So I also want to mention, I see a lot of underdog potential on this card, and I know some cards, they have almost like, it's almost like tricky, where it looks like, oh, there's all these underdog opportunities, but really, the favorite ends up winning it, even by decision. But I do think that there's some dog opportunities on this. I think Zalgas is not a bad fighter. I believe he last got knocked out by the big prospect, the fighter from Portugal. But let me pull up Zalgas Zumagulov, and then I'll pull up Jeff Molina. He fought a really tough victory in his last fight. It was against who was it against? It was against, no, I'm sorry. That was I think that was the fight that I'm thinking about is his fight against Aurichi Lang. I think that's the way you pronounce his name. And it was a very close fight, and I think he got hurt in it, if I'm remembering. And then he beat Daniel Da Silva. I honestly didn't see that fight, but Zalgas is not a bad fighter. He got destroyed the last fight against Manuel Cape, but Manuel Cape is an absolute monster, and he's been putting it together like crazy. And he actually wasn't doing that bad until Manuel Cape really just kind of decided to get him out of there. Manuel Cape is probably like a title challenger. Really, the guy's hand speed is just ridiculous. Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Tony Gravely. I've seen Tony Gravely fight. I haven't seen Johnny Munoz Jr. fight, so I'm not going to talk about this fight. I know a lot of people talk about Benoit Saint-Denis against Nicolas Stolze. I've heard of Nicolas Stolze, but I'm not sure about this fight. Odi Osborne against Zaruk Adashev. I know Zaruk, from what I remember, he was a champion in kickboxing, from what I remember. But he ended up getting like knocked out in his first fight against. He got a fight against Tyson Nam, from what I remember. But let's see. Okay, so Odi Osborne, he got finished by a flying knee by Manuel Cape. He beat CJ Vergara. Not really sure who that is, but now he's going to be fighting Zaruk. Zaruk, I haven't been really following him that well. I do see, I remember him getting knocked out in the first round by Tyson Nam. Tyson Nam is a solid fighter. I didn't really see him fight Sumo Darji against Ryan Benoit. I don't know, but, considering that Zaruk is a kickboxing champion, although, again, he got knocked out by Tyson Nam, but Tyson Nam does have really good knockout power, and Odi is a a striking type fighter. Might be worth throwing something on them, but I wouldn't be too confident in that. Damon Jackson against Daniel Argueta. I've seen Daniel Jackson fight, but haven't seen Daniel Argueta. Looks like, obviously, Damon's a huge favorite. Joe Sellecki against Alex De Silva. This one I also find very, very, very interesting. So we have Alex De Silva. From what I remember, he had the he lost a close decision to Brad Riddell. And I actually had money on him against Brad Riddell because I thought he could use his grappling. But that fight was super close, and Brad Riddell is an absolute beast. And, I think that Brad, yes, he got knocked out brutally by Rafael Fiziev, but Fiziev could be a future champion. He beat Drew Dober, he beat Magomed Mustafayev, Jamie Malarkey. He's a very good fighter. And it was like razor close, I thought, against Alex De Silva. Honestly, I thought, if I remember, it might have been it was a unanimous decision. I thought it could even be a split decision. I thought it was super close. Joe Sellecki is a very solid prospect, very, very good fighter. And I didn't see the grappling fight, but he did beat Donald Cerrone by rear naked choke. And he had a draw with Gregory Rodriguez, a massive man who's a beast. He had a loss to Jared Gordon, and he beat Jim Miller and Austin Hubbard. Now, obviously, those some impressive grappling wins, but from a striking perspective, I'm not impressed. I'll say that. Obviously, he's his grappling is world class, but I don't know if he can hang with Alex De Silva in the grappling. I really think that Alex De Silva is a good bet at plus 145, and I think he's had, honestly, the better competition and fighting Brad Riddell than Joe Sellecki with Jim Miller and Austin Hubbard. Jim Miller, again, he's a tough guy, tough veteran, and he's beaten a few new guys recently, but comparing that to Brad Riddell, Brad Riddell is an absolute monster training out of City Kickboxing with Israel Adesanya, so I think that's pretty awesome. Felice against Carolina. Felice had a very close fight against Tracy Cortez, from what I remember. Was it Tracy Cortez that she fought against, if I'm remembering? I think that's who it was, Felice Herrig. I remember it being super close. Let's take a look. No, oops, I'm wrong about that. I'm mixing her up with someone. But I remember she got submitted by Virna. I remember she came back and got submitted by Virna. I remember her. I'm mixing her with another fighter, with a different fighter. But this is going to be an interesting one. Her against Carolina. She's coming off 3 losses and a long layoff. Felice, I think Carolina's had a pretty decent layoff. She last lost 2021. It's 2022 now. It's about a little less than a year, but look at the people that she's lost to. Jessica Penne, I think, is a solid fighter. She beat Lupita Godinez, who looks really good. But Yan Xiaonan, very good fighter. Alexa Grasso, very good fighter. Michelle Watterson, very good fighter. Jessica Andrade, very good fighter. Now, Felice, she lost to... I didn't realize that she actually lost to Carolina by a split decision. She lost to Michelle Watterson. She lost to Virna. This is a close fight. I don't know if I would touch this. Honestly, I might grab Carolina just for the simple fact that Felice didn't want to shake Carolina's hands, and I think that might speak. Again, no, they would take too much into this, but I think it's the fact that that could be meaning that Carolina might have a little bit of a mental edge. The fact that she reacted that way, but I mean, again, take that for what it's worth. Not maybe not even worth looking at. Alonzo versus Askar Mazarov. All I was going to say, this guy, Askar Mazarov, looks like a physical specimen. He looks bigger than Alonzo, which is crazy. I don't know how it's possible at 205. Clearly, Alonzo's a big favorite. I don't know anything about Askar, other than he looks like, those Dagestani guys. So I don't know if I would sleep on him just for that reason. And, again, obviously you don't want to bet on physique, but sometimes you look at a guy with a very impressive physique, and I've had luck just sometimes even showing that, hey, that means this guy's committed in the sport, and putting money on, the dog and having him win. I've done that before. So, especially at plus 200, maybe worth it, but I mean, it's not too much, so maybe not worth touching. Corrine Silva against Poliana Botello. Don't know much about Corrine Silva. I think I've seen Poliana fight a couple times, but I wouldn't, I don't have anything to say about this fight. Neither the Mike Trizano, Lucas Almeida fight. I've seen Mike Trizano fight, but, I don't think I've seen Lucas Almeida fight. Now this comes to the co-main event of the evening. It's funny, I sounded like Bruce Buffer there, but you got Dan Ige against Movsar Evloev. So I do think that the odds are skewed. I mean, Movsar should be not that big of a favorite, and I understand he's an undefeated fighter. Dan Ige is a beast, absolute beast. Great jiu-jitsu, crazy power. I remember he starched that guy, the tough guy, was last fight a couple fights ago, but he's an absolute monster. To count him out is, and I do think, this is the thing, I do think that Movsar beats Evloev. Movsar beats Evloev. Movsar beats Dan Ige by decision, but he should not be a minus 400 favorite. I mean, let me see if you can get Movsar by decision at something decent. If you can't get Movsar by decision, Movsar by decision is minus 200. That's fucking crazy. Again, fucking crazy. Over 2.5 minus 400, under 2.5 plus 280. Honestly, might be worth taking a stab at the under 2.5. I do think Movsar wins by decision, but so I wouldn't touch the Movsar Dan Ige odds, but maybe take the under 2.5 plus 280. I think it's worth it. This guy Dan Ige has fucking monster power, so keep that in mind. I mean, I guess at that point, if you're gonna bet the under 2.5, but you could say, why don't you just bet on Dan Ige? But I'm like, technically, with that, your Movsar, could possibly have a finish too. I mean, again, is it likely? No, but at plus 280, might be worth taking a stab at it. And brings us to the main event, Alex Volkov against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I like both of these guys a lot. I like Jairzinho a lot, but man, watching him like freeze up sometimes and seeing that like when you have money on him, it's just so frustrating. It seems like sometimes he's inconsistent because I'm like, okay, I was like, this guy freezes up. Let me take a bet on him against Augusto Sakai, and then Jairzinho just stops him in one round, which is unfortunate. But so it's kind of hard for me to get like my finger on the pulse. He's just a guy who I seem to be wrong about a lot. Jairzinho, especially so I've had problems with like fighters like Jorge and Masvidal and my Soldier of God, Soldier of God Romero, because he's just inconsistent. But I do think Alex, so therefore I do think Alex won this. I mean, yeah, it's possible Jairzinho can win by knockout. I think most likely scenario, Alex wins by decision. I mean, you could grab Alex by decision at plus 150. At that point, the difference between plus 150 and minus 160 is not that much. Might as well, keep that just in case he gets a knockout. I mean, I really doubt he gets a knockout. I mean, maybe it's worth getting, if you want to, maybe it's worth putting half on Alex by decision and then half on Alex at minus 160. Not a bad idea. But yeah, overall, I want to say my favorite looks on this fight. I like Alex or Alex by decision. I like Alex Da Silva against Joe Solecki. I like JJ Aldrich against Aaron Blanchfield. And then if you look at like those are the ones that are most interesting to me. Second most interesting is be like Zalgas. I think it's not bad. And then the third most interesting would be taking the under in the Ige Movsar fight, and also maybe taking a stab on Carolina, since she did beat her before Felice, and on top of that, the way that Felice seems like she's mentally shook by it or bothered. So hope you guys take advantage of that, of those tips. And thanks for listening and subscribing, and have a fantastic day.